Thomas and the Circus. The engines were very excited. The circus was coming to the island of Sodor. Percy was looking forward to seeing the clever dancing horses. James couldn't wait to see the funny clowns with their big shoes and bright red noses. And Thomas, he just wanted to see the big top tent go up. All the engines wanted to be chosen to go to the docks to collect the circus. But who would the fat controller ask? It was Thomas. He was excited. But Thomas, the fat controller said, if there are too many trucks for you to pull, you must share the work with the other engines. Yes, sir, I will, said Thomas, and he steamed off happily with Annie and Clarabelle. At the docks, Cranky the crane had loaded the circus train. There were horse boxes and costumes and people everywhere. The acrobats and clowns climbed aboard Annie, and Clarabelle carried the ringmaster and the band. Salty shunted the very long, very heavy circus train into place behind Thomas. Need any help, matey? Salty asked. Thomas remembered what the fat controller had said about sharing the work, but he wanted to pull the circus train all by himself. No thank you, Salty, he said. I can do it. Then Thomas took the biggest puff he could and slowly chuffed out into the countryside. Thomas wanted to do a good job, and he had to work very hard indeed. His pistons pumped, and his traction rods rattled, but Thomas was so happy that he took no notice. Peep, peep! When Thomas pulled the circus train through Marion Station, he got a lovely surprise. The platforms were full of people waving and cheering. The circus performers waved back, and the band played a cheerful song. Thomas was so happy that he joined in by blowing his whistle. Peep, peep! When Thomas had to stop at the junction, children lined the bridge to wave and cheer. Peep! Thomas blew his whistle extra loudly for them. Percy chuffed alongside Thomas. He really wanted to help. Is there anything I could take for you, Thomas? He asked. But Thomas wanted to do everything himself. He was having too much fun on his own to accept help from Percy. Don't thank you, Percy, he said. I'll do it on my own. Oh, I see, Percy said disappointed as he watched Thomas chuff away. Thomas puffed on and on and on. The train felt heavier and heavier and heavier. His traction rods rattled and rattled and rattled. When he stopped at a signal, James was waiting in a siding. Like Percy, James wanted to help with the circus train. If you uncouple some trucks, I could take them for you, James offered. But Thomas still didn't want any help, even though he was tired. No thank you, James, he said. I could do it on my own. Thomas steamed off again, but the load was heavy and his axles ached. Every puff was harder, and every chuck made him more and more tired. When Thomas passed through the next station, he didn't even have enough steam to whistle to the people waving from the platform. He couldn't manage even one single tiny toot. He was almost out of puff. Then, out in the countryside, creak, crack, Thomas's traction rods broke, and he stopped with a jolt. He couldn't move. Thomas was very worried, and so were the circus performers. We need to practice, said one of the clowns. And the horses need more hay, said the ringmaster. Thomas's driver telephoned for help, and soon James arrived with new traction rods. Percy brought some hay for the horses, too. Thomas was very sorry to have caused a delay. I wanted to keep all the fun to myself, said Thomas, but now I wish I had shared the work with you. Never mind, we'll all have fun now, puffed Percy kindly. Thomas had his new traction rods fitted. Then he was uncoupled from the trucks. Percy and James took the dancing horses and the funny clowns, and Thomas took the band and the big top tent. Then the band started playing, and the circus train set off again. Percy was right. Sharing the work was much more fun. Now when people waved and cheered, 3 engines blew their whistles. Later on, when the circus had been set up, the engines went to look at the big top tent. Thank you for helping me, peeped Thomas to James and Percy. Sharing work is good because it makes the work easier, but sharing fun with your friends is even better. The end.